By James Creedon.
Good evening, Laura.
And James, you're taking us back to a story we've been looking at earlier this week. This, of course, is the Spanish paedophile who was pardoned in Morocco, freed and rearrested in Spain.
That's
the
right.
Moroccan king has since said he never meant to give that pardon in the first place. It was a big mix-up. This is still trending very much on Twitter and
Absolutely.
other sites.
Moroccans are really following this because it is the first time that the Moroccan king has gone back on a decision such as a royal pardon like that. It's an unprecedented decision, and if you look on social media, you can see the amount of people who got involved in that campaign to have that decision overturned. Messages and photos were sent in from around the world, some of them from Moroccan communities, this little boy, for example, in New York, others just from people who were horrified by the story and were sending in pictures and their support for those who wanted that decision overturned. Now, another word that has been trending, it's been called Daniel Gate online, Daniel being the first name of the Spanish paedophile in question. Another word that's been trending is mafrasish, which means I didn't know, right? Now, that's what the King of Morocco has been saying, an absolute monarch. He is the guy who signs off on these decisions, even though, of course, in reality, it's his aides, etc. Look at this sign here. I know, you know, we know, you know, plural. And then on the right, il ne sait pas. He doesn't know. So basically what Moroccans are saying here, in a country that is historically very deferential to the monarchy, is, oh, so he didn't know. I mean, how did he not know? And essentially what you have is across the board, well, not across the board, but here is one politician for the Socialist Unified Party in Morocco,
right.
Nabila Mounib, and she's saying, hold on a minute. You're the guy signing off on this. This is not a constitutional monarchy. If it was a constitutional monarchy, the government would be getting the blame. You're getting the blame because this is an absolutist system. She's also saying that actually a mafia-type individuals get invited along to events at the Royal Palace, such as Eid, which is the religious festival at the end of Ramadan, and that money sometimes exchanges hands in order for people to get the royal pardon. So she claims that the whole system of royal pardons is corrupt. And that mafia...
And it's rare, isn't it, for politicians to speak out against the government? We know that journalists have been jailed for doing that.
So she is the Secretary General of an opposition party in Morocco, and this is one of the main independent magazines or newspapers online, La Comé in Morocco.
Now, the king, or his aides, anyway, he hasn't spoken about it himself. His aides have said it was all a big mistake. Right. The Moroccan people want him to go further. They want the king himself to come and apologise. How likely is that? That's
right. Well, he's met the families of the paedophile in question, who was convicted of molesting 11 children between the ages of 4 and, well, the ages seem to vary, and having just tons of child porn. Is it enough? Again, this lady here, Nabila Mounib, she said he has to apologise personally to the Moroccan people. He is personally responsible, for at least making sure that each case, on a case-by-case basis, is verified and checked and double-checked. He has that responsibility, so he should apologise. What extent can social media be said to explain the extent of this backlash? Is it just there, or are we getting it in the traditional media as well? I think it's not the entire explanation, but it is a part of the reason why we're seeing a greater response this time around. Because take a look at this story, Laura, that was signalled by the French media, or that was the attention was brought to it by the French media earlier this week. A French paedophile was also pardoned by Morocco, and when it's pardoned, it's always through the king, in 2006. No reaction. WikiLeaks spoke about it. The French, it was barely referred to at the time, right? Now, this article in today's Le Monde, put up online this afternoon, spoke to people who were demonstrating and gathering in Casablanca last night, amongst other cities. And many of them said, it is our first time demonstrating. Why? Maybe social media has something to do with that, because state television in Morocco, it's very tightly controlled. Right. Really, they're not going to be talking about issues like this. You had young people, one 27-year-old economics student called Mehdi, who said, you know what, I follow everything on social media. This is really the first time I've come out on the streets. I think now I'd like to get more involved in issues such as this. It kind of whips people up, doesn't it, and helps them to organise as well. That's right, and helps them to organise, and also, I suppose, really keeps them quite informed about an issue that might be kind of shushed in state media. Yeah, interesting. All right, just briefly then, James. Social media clearly has
has played a role in getting these protests going. NGOs have done as well.
That's right. Touche pas à mon enfant, which is hands off my child. That is a very, basically it's an organisation that doesn't want Marrakesh to become another Bangkok. This is an article from Le Monde last year as well. A lot of sex tourism in Marrakesh, in particular since 2004, the tsunami in Thailand, meant that people who go on sex tourism were kind of going to Morocco instead of Thailand. It's an awful reality, but that is the case. And this article in Atlantico says behind this Daniel Galvan case is the lax attitude of the Moroccan authorities to do with sex tourism. So I think it's not just social media and people being more aware of social issues. It's a real rising anger regarding this issue. And just very quickly, Luc Ferry, former education minister in France, 2 years ago, sex tourism in Morocco also became an issue because he highlighted the case of an unknown former French minister who had been basically forgiven by the Moroccan authorities for sleeping with a minor. So, you know, it's an issue increasingly in the spotlight.
All right. James, thank you very much
Thanks,
indeed.
Laura.
James Creedon there with Media Watch. Well, we've got all the day's top business news now for you with Marcus Carlson.